Hello everybody, it's Wendy, and today we are working on our fourth set of jewelry using Sam's bead box. So we have already made 3 complete sets: bracelet, necklace, and earrings, single strand. This one, the necklace is going to be sort of a double strand. I know I said I was going to do all single strand, but I don't want to make them all exactly the same. So this one's going to be kind of a double strand, but it's still going to be very simple. Okay, so Sam's March bead box was the anniversary box, and it was called Beauty of Time. And it has been an amazing box to work with. So first of all, our encouraging word for today is turn your wounds into wisdom. And I think that's probably the best one I've ever read. Turn your wounds into wisdom. How smart is that? That's a good one. Okay, so here we go. Sam's Bead Box is a monthly subscription beading service. Now, I've pulled some things from my own stash, but I have challenged myself to make as many sets of jewelry out of this box as I could. So far I've made, this is number 4. So let me show you everything you're going to need if you want to make. We're going to do a bracelet, necklace, and earrings. And I've had to split them up into different videos just because it would have been like a 20-hour video if I would have done it all together. So nobody wants that. All right. So first of all, you're going to need some bead stringing wire. I'm using 7 strand in satin silver. This is by Bead. I will say, honestly, this stuff is steel wire braided together with a nylon coating on it. So a lot of people are like, well, why do you use 7 strand versus 1949? Just because this is what I have in silver. That's literally the only reason I'm using this 7 strand. I don't think, people say, well, yes, obviously the 49 strand is stronger, but this is strong stuff, guys. You can't really break this. I would cut my finger off trying to, break this. And I don't think that it really matters all that much, to be honest with you. So the 7 strand is what I'm using. We're going to need a piece for the necklace and a piece for your bracelet. I have got some eye pins in gunmetal. Now, this is a chain from Jesse James Beads. It's left over from another project that I did for them. And I just liked it because it's gunmetal and because it's got some sparkle in it. And you'll see here in a minute why. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these cylinder prehenite. I don't know how you say that. Prehenite beads. And the round ones. We're using all those. I'm using 5 of the bicones because that's all I had left. I'm using these 2 nautical beads, 2 toggles. These are just toggles from my own stash. 4 wire guards and 4 crimp beads. These are size 2 crimp beads, 5mm wire guards. I've got 2 fishhook ear wires, and everybody's asked me where I get these. I get these at AliExpress. They are really cute, and I like them. And then I've got a bunch of these rhinestone rondelles that I got from the bargain bead box, and some jump rings. These are little, like 4mm, and your jewelry tools. And I think that that's all we're going to need. I do have 2 ball head pins. I don't know if I said that or not, for dangles on the bracelet. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We'll go ahead and start with the necklace first, just because that's the biggest thing. So grab 2 of your wire guards, 2 of your crimps, set the rest aside. Okay. Set your ear wires aside. You're not going to need them right now. Set your ball head pins aside. And everything else we're going to use for a few minutes. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is cut our piece of bead stringing wire for our necklace. So I'm not sure exactly how long I'm going to need for this. It's not going to be super long. So I'm going to cut just about 9 inches here. Actually, yeah, I am going to cut about 9 inches here. Now, if I have pieces of this left over, I save them because you can use them in teeny tiny things like tassels or, other projects later. That's not going to be long enough, though. I'm pretty sure it's not. I get worried that I'm going to make it too short. And I know I could leave it on the spool, but I don't work well like that. So I'm going to cut about 12 inches. Maybe a little more. I just want to make sure I have enough. Okay, that's better. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to crimp directly onto this chain. So this chain's really cool. It's got these little loops And so I'm going to take my crimp bead and put it on my bead stringing wire. Then I'm going to put this wire guardian on. I'm going up and over my wire guardian, just like that. And then I'm just going to crimp directly onto this chain. Now, if you wanted to, you could hook this together with a jump ring, but it fits fine on there with the wire guard, so I'm just going to hook it right on. Okay, I do like to take my wire guards, and my little crimp bead's running away there. Just bend them in like that. Did I lose that crimp bead? No, here it is. Okay, I like to bend them in a little. I don't know why it's a thing with me. I've always done it. I just like the way it looks better when they're kind of bent in together. All right, put our crimp bead back on. All the way up, and I'm going to put the crimp bead over both wires. Now, you want to make sure that your wires aren't crossed if you can. So I'm just holding them to where they're not crossed and putting the crimp bead over both wires. Or at least that's what I'm attempting to do. There we go. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to turn this around this way because it's easier for me. So I'm just holding my wires, so if you can see, they're not crossed. And I'm pulling up on everything else. I'm going to take my crimpers. I'm going to set this crimp bead in the back divot of them, and I'm just going to firmly press down. And as you can see, what that does is that puts one wire in each little channel that your crimpers make. Then I'm going to turn that vertically in the first or the second little closure thing right here and close it up. And there it is. Perfect little crimp. Okay, so let's save this other one for a minute. So now we're just going to string it up like we want it. And I like, we're saving one of those for the bracelet. So I want to use a couple of those. I'm going to use one on a dangle and then two on the, am I going to use those on the earrings? I don't know if I am or not. We'll see. And I want to use a couple of these. And then two of these I want to save out for the earrings for sure. And some of these for the bracelet. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do 6 for the bracelet. 2 barrels for the bracelet, 2 for the earrings. Okay, so I think we're good. And then I'm going to use a bunch of these guys, just because I like the sparkle that they add. Now, I'm going to do a dangle here, and I do know what I want to do with this. I think I may change my mind, actually. Yeah, I am going to change my mind. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this chain, and I'm going to cut one of these little pieces off of it like this. Now, you just take your plier. You can take your crimping plier and just kind of lay that metal down right there if it's scratchy. Or you could file it if you have a file. I'm just going to lay it down. I don't know why it's kind of peeled back there and scratchy. It shouldn't be, but it is. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm going to dangle that from this. So I'm going to take my eye pin. Okay, and do I want to do it that way? I do. Okay, I'm going to put this guy on my eye pin, this bicone, and this guy. Okay, now I think I do want to do another bicone at the top. Do I want to do it that way? I do want to do it this way because, no, I don't want to do one at the top. Okay, I'm going to make a loop. I know, I'm designing as I go, I'm sorry. So I'm going to make a loop here. So bend this 90 degrees. Cut this. Usually I go about my finger's width. I'm not going to do a wrap loop just because I don't really have enough room there to do a wrap loop. Otherwise I would, but my eye pin was not long enough for that, and I don't have any wire right now with me. Okay, I'm just going to roll this back. Just like that. Now make sure it's closed up really good because you're putting it on bead stringing wire, so it needs to be closed up or it'll fall off. Okay, so now I'm going to take this little dangle here, and I'm just going to put it directly on. I'm not even going to use a jump ring. I'm just going to hang it right from this little loop on the bottom of my eye pin, just like that. And there it is. Okay. So there that is. Now, we're going to bead this up. Okay, so these I want to go down here. I know that. So let's do this guy, a rhinestone rondelle, this one, rhinestone rondelle, and we'll do another, this guy. And I just wanted to use these rhinestone rondelles to really bring the sparkle in, because I just felt like that it needed a little extra sparkle there. Okay, so now that's what I've got to decide, how many of these I need for this and how many I need for the bracelet. So my bracelets don't end up being very big because my wrist is little. So it's going to have the big bead in the middle. I think I'm going to need 4 for each side of the bracelet. So that leaves me, what have I got on here? 3, 4. Let's take 4 out. So that leaves me 1, 2, 3, and an extra for maybe a dangle or something, I guess. Okay, so we're going to do another of these, this guy. Oh, I dropped that bicone. Hold on, let me find where it went. Okay, got it. All right, so I did not mean to put 2 of those on there. Where's the hole? There we go. And another one. This guy. You know what I was going to do, though? I changed my mind. I was going to make links. Oh, well, I changed my mind. We're not going to make links. I had debated making links, but that's not going to work. We're just going to do this. Okay. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I need one more over here. I'm just trying to make sure I have enough. Okay, this. And then our bead on. And I'm going to do one more and a bicone. So I like the way the bicones sit in those. And then I'm going to string on this little focal. Okay. And then the same thing on the other side going back. So our bicone, just like that. Now, let me see if I like that. I don't like that. I think, let's take that off. I think I'm going to put the round one. So let's do this. Let's do the bicone like this. Then our rhinestone rondelle and our round bead, just like that. And then this guy. I think that's going to look better for some reason. And then we'll do our other round bead over here. Is that better? That is better. I like that better. Okay. And then our rhinestone rondelle. Oh, for heaven's sakes, I keep dropping everything today. It's all ended up in the floor. Bicone. Rhinestone rondelle, and then back up our beads here. So I've got 3 alternating with rondelles. So there's 1. Here's my 2nd. Here's my 3rd. Then I've got this guy, 2 bead. Then I have 3 more of these. So 1, alternate a rondelle in there, 2, alternate a rondelle, and 3. Do I do another rondelle? No. Okay. So now I'm at the end. Just make sure everything is even and I didn't skip anything. Okay, we're good. So I'm going to go ahead and crimp onto the chain again. So here's where you have to decide how long you want this to be. Okay, so I'm going to hold it up on me. Yeah, a necklace like this I don't like to be super long, of course. So I am going to give it, and I'm cutting the little jump ring in between the chain so that I have this loop left. Okay, so I'm cutting about, and you can always put an extender on it if you want to, but I'm cutting right about 7 inches. Okay, so now I'm going to cut 7 inches on this side, and then I'm going to crimp it onto this just like I did on the other side. Okay, so this has a little do-hangly thing here I'm going to get off with a jump ring. Okay, there we go. I'm going to crimp right onto this. So I need a crimp and a wire guard. Here they are. So putting my crimp on first and my wire guard. Okay, then I'm going to just slide my chain right on it. Just like that. Going back down through the crimp bead and a few of the other beads. And wherever it decides to pop out, right there, is where we're going to pull it out. Okay, so I'm just pulling that tight. Now it's hard to see on this end if you have your wires crossed. I mean, you can't really tell. I am going to bend the wire guard in like I did on the other side, so it touches itself on the bottom. I just like the way it looks better. I bent that one in too much, didn't I? There we go. Okay, and then I'm just going to crimp it. So like I said, I can't really tell if the wires are crossed on this end. You just do the best that you can. Hopefully they're not. I mean, it's not a big deal if they are. I don't think it's really going to hurt anything, but, you know. Alright, give it a tug. It's nice and tight. And I'm going to cut that right off. Okay. So here's what we have. And let me get that up in there. It decided to slip down. So here's what we have. So I'm just going to cut my chain evenly on the other side, right here. Okay, so I've got this left. And then I'm just going to put my toggle on. Super easy. Got my little jump rings here. And I keep getting everything hung up in this bead stringing wire. My desk is a mess. I'm going to have to like halt all projects and clean it up after this video because I have stuff everywhere right now. It's just been a messy production day. Alright, so let's put this on here and close it right up. Make sure that your jump rings are closed really good. Okay, take our other one. And just do the same thing. And here we have our cute little necklace. Okay, just like that. And this is becoming a pain. I should have put that on with a jump ring, but I didn't, so we'll have to deal with it. But if you want, you can put it on with a jump ring, and it may not keep going down in those wire guardians. But there's the necklace. So now we'll head on over and do our bracelet. This is simple as well. Simple stringing. Okay, so we've got, I have the piece left over that I just cut off of my necklace. Where'd it go? I could use that for this bracelet, I think. There it is. Okay. And I dropped the scissors. Dropped everything today. I really have. It's been crazy. Okay, so here is our little bracelet. Now, like I said, I have very, 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 very freakishly small wrists, okay? So, I think what I'm going to do, we're going to just bead this up, and then we're going to add some of the chain on either side just so it looks pretty. Now, do I want to use these two? I have these two bicones left over. Do I want to use them in the earrings, or I think that I'm going to use them in the bracelet, because the earrings, you know, it'll just be easier to, yeah, I think I'm just going to use them in the bracelet. So I'm going to follow the same pattern I did here. So I've got my focal piece here. I'm going to do the 2 round beads on either side, then 2 rondelle spacers, then the bicones, 2 rondelle spacers, round beads, 2 rondelle spacers, round beads, rondelle, rondelle, 2 beads, spacer, and no, then they just go like this. They don't go on that. Okay, so just like that. Now, do I want to scoop that up, this guy up to here? I think I do. I think I like it better like that. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's put this guy in here. And then we have a round bead or spacer. Okay, I think that's how we're going to do. See, I've got this 1 bead left over, so it can be a dangle. I ended up with, I'm having a lot of issues with that this time with everything I'm doing, not just Sam's box, but like every box I'm doing, I end up with 1 bead left over for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, so let's go ahead and, let me see how long. Let's go ahead and string this part up, because I'm going to have to do just the one part and then crimp on both ends. So I'm going to go ahead and crimp onto, just like I did before. And no, I'm not going to use the jump ring because I didn't before. So just for continuity's sake, I'm just going to do it the same way. So I'm just putting my crimp bead on and then my wire guard. Same old, same old. Okay. And I'm just going to put the chain in here. In that little loop. And just crimp it the same way we did the necklace. Bend him in a little. Lay this in the back divot of my crimpers. Pull everything up and smash it down. Okay, turn it vertically and close that. Alright, so here's our bracelet. So now I'm just going to string it up. So we've got another of these. Okay, so I've got a bead, rondelle, round bead, okay, tube bead, round bead, rondelle, bicone, rondelle, round bead, and then we're putting on our focal, our big boat bead, nautical bead, and then we're just going back the other way. So round bead, same pattern that we just did. Where's the hole in the round bead? Okay, round bead, rondelle, high comb, rondelle, round bead, tube bead, round bead, rondelle, and round bead. Okay, so there's what we've got. Now, here's where you have to decide how long that you want it to be. So my beaded section here is 5 inches. My wrist is about 7 inches. So I really only need about 1.5 inches of chain on each side. So let's go ahead and do this. So about 1.5 inches, and this can't be too loose because it's going to have a toggle. So I'm going to cut right here. So right at about 1.5 inches. I know that's not much chain on there, but it's okay. And then we're going to do our crimp over here, our wire guard. Come on. Well, that little channel is like a needle in a haystack right now, isn't it? Get in there. There we go. Okay, wire guard. Coming back down the other side. And then I'm just going to insert it onto this piece of the chain. Get it up on there. Okay. And come back down through the crimp and a couple of the beads. Okay, there we go. I'm going to pull tight. Make sure nothing is flopping around, bend that in, and then I'm just going to go ahead and crimp it down. Turn it sideways and close it up in the little divot on my crimpers there. There we go. Tug it. Always tug it hard. If it's going to come undone, you want it to come undone while you've got it and not while somebody else has it. And I did not make sure that my little tail on the other end was tucked into the bead, so I'm going to see if I can tuck him in. If I can't, then I'll just have to trim him off, but I like to tuck them into the bead. I just feel like it gives it a little more security. So let me see if I can get him in there. There we go. Alright, get down in there where you belong and stop being a pain. Okay, so now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of these little links. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to cut it at that loop right there. And let's see. Yeah, it's going to be way, way, way too long. So I'm going to get away with only a couple pieces of the chain on here for me because, like I said, my wrist is tiny, which is a pain sometimes. Okay, so there's much less chain, and that'll work. All right, so bummer, man. Okay, so I'm going to take my toggle. Where's my other toggle? See, I've got such a mess on this desk. I have got to clean it up. I've been making things from Potomac Bead Box. Here it is. Sam's Bead Box. Unboxed Bargain Bead Box. I've got to make some things from there. And it's just been crazy. Okay. So I've got my 2 little jump rings here. And I'm just going to put my toggle right on. So here's my ring. And here's my bar. Just like this. Now, if you want to make a little dangle to hang off of your toggle ring, you can. I think it makes it look kind of cute, and I also think that it secures the toggle a little bit better, so you have less chance of the toggle coming undone. So if you put this through here, and then you've got something else hanging here that's kind of going to block it, you have less chance of it coming undone. So I like to do that. So I'm going to take this extra, we had this one little extra guy here. I'm going to use a ball head pin, and I'm just going to hang him on here by himself. I'm going to make a wrapped loop. So I'm just going to go over, take my round nose and come up and over and under, and then these are so easy, you can just wrap with your finger. Don't even have to use pliers on these little head pins. They're so thin, easy to wrap. Okay, I'm going to cut him off, and then I'm going to take a jump ring and hook him on there. Now I'm going to need a bigger jump ring because this is kind of wide. So let me pull out a little bit of a bigger jump ring for this. Yeah, here we go. So I'm just going to use a large one that'll let it flow easily over that little ring right there. Okay, so just open this up, put him right on, and right on there. Okay, so there is our little bracelet to go with our pretty little necklace. So there's that set. Now we've got to do our earrings, which are super simple. Okay, here we go. Now what I'm going to do is one of these pieces that I cut off, yeah, these little links here, I am going to cut it apart in the middle on the jump ring, and then I'm going to cut this bottom piece off just like I did on that other one. Okay, on both of them. Okay, just like that. Now, I'm going to grab 2 eye pins. My eye pins are like all different sizes. Okay, here we go. I don't know if those eye pins are going to be long enough. Maybe they will. Let's see. So we're going to do our round bead, yeah. And these are just going to be simple little stick earrings, okay? And I'm going to go, yeah, I'm going to make, I'm not going to do a wrapped loop with this just because I don't have a lot left to wrap with. So I'm just going to do a regular loop. Okay, rolling this back. Just like that. I'm going to hang it right on my ear wire. Close that back up. Make sure I can't get out. And then I'm just going to hang this little guy right on here. And there we have a very, very, very quick and simple little pair of earrings to match our necklace and bracelet. So this is set number 4 out of Sam's box. I just can't get over how much I'm able to make from one Sam's bead box. It's kind of unbelievable. But set number 4, so that's 12 pieces of jewelry so far, and I still have tons of beads left. So there will be a set number 5, probably a set number 6 and 7. So stay tuned for those. But I will link the other 3 sets in the description box below this video so you can check them out. And we'll finish up this little earring right here. And I will link Sam's bead box as well in the description box below this video. And you can check Sam's bead box out. It is a great value. All check glass and gemstone, absolutely beautiful beads. He always has very unique and unusual things too. I just really look forward to getting his box. So I'm just hanging this little guy on here, closing this up. And there we have it. There is our earrings, our necklace, and our cute little bracelet. So let me know what you guys think about this set. And again, I will link the other 3 sets in the description box below the video. This is, again, set number 4. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed to my channel and you want to see me do the other sets from this, you need to go ahead and subscribe and ring that bell so you know when I upload, because otherwise you're not going to know when I upload the next, the rest of this little series we've got going here. So do that. Check out Sam's Bead Box, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.